human. As the youth I young, so ask yourself, is the love really cost? What can ask myself? Really, what is going wrong in this world that we're living in? People keep on giving in, making wrong decisions, only visions of the humanity, and respecting each other, denying that the war's gonna come, but the reasons are the reason. The truth is kept secret, it's swept under the rug. If you never know, then you never know. What's the fuck, yo? Come on out. What's the truth, yo? Come on out. What's the fuck, yo?
Practice what you preach, what you tell me I achieve. Father, 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 help us. Guidance from above. Got me questioning. Where is the love? Where is the love? Where is the love? Where is the love?
I feel the weight of the world on my shoulders. As I'm getting older, your people get colder. Most of us only care about money making. Selfishness has us following the wrong direction. Wrong information always shown by the media. Negative.
Hello, my name is Gregg Wandsneider and I am from British Columbia, Canada. To some people, the idea of not being equal to your peers is unimaginable. Yet in many countries around the world, this is the reality. Even here in the Western civilizations, where everyone is legally considered equal, some minorities don't have the same opportunities as the majority of the population. So far this week at the World Affairs Seminar, we've been talking about how to help other people and countries so much that we sometimes forget that we need to do some work here as well. As far as history goes, there have been two types of societies, matriarchal and patriarchal. To my knowledge, we are the first civilization to strive for gender equity. So what will this new system be called? And what will it be known for in the future? A society that is run by both males and females is so different than anything in our textbooks. And yet, we still need to focus on gender equality, not just equality for both sexes. For those of you who don't know the difference between gender and sex, is that you can choose your gender while your sex has been decided for you. Overseas, in some countries, women are not yet considered equal to men, and yet they got the right to vote in 1920. But at the same time, they are still considered to be second-rate citizens and lesser beings than men. One of our speakers, Sahar, said that if a woman wants her freedom, she has to pay for it. It's a cycle. More women are afraid to do anything about it, and there is more backlash from women than men. When she said that, she was speaking about the situation in her native land, Egypt. When you compare that to the situation here, you find two very different parallel situations. Here, the focus is becoming directed towards the LGBTQ population, immigrants, and helping those overseas countries that are not honoring the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. There are a few ways that we could help those people that don't involve actually going to that country. Primarily, we just need to raise awareness of what is happening over there and raise their awareness that they have options and that they don't have to live in that kind of environment. The human race has been changing and evolving since the dawn of the Homo sapiens, and that's the way it should be.
My name is Rebecca. I've been especially moved by the injustice of racism, and I really wanted to express my thoughts concisely, so I wrote a poem so that I think about what I was saying fully. Racism is thrown around like a solved enigma. How do we tackle it without the stigma? Fact is, racism is different in our world today. Technology, anonymity, we can instantly say. Words that destroy are actions that incinerate. A world free of racism is running late. Because it's time to stand out after all. We're fed up of discrimination, standing so tall. It's easy to talk about how much we hate racism if we want to. But do we ever talk about what we're actually going to do? What's this, World War III, to make each and every one of us feel free? We've locked ourselves up and we're staring at the key. I'm showing you it's in our hands to make our world what it ought to be. It seems that fear drives this madness, self-destructive, we've only made sadness. Our fear is of our own cumulative glory. Let's embrace it and start a better story. Use what you have and do what you can do. My name's Rebecca, pledge your name too.
Hi, my name is Shannon Pedersen, and I'm from Round Lake, Illinois. The speaker I chose to speak about today is Geneva Johnson. She has so many words of wisdom based off of her experiences. She focused on gender inequality and identity. She was also very clear about the 3 steps to social justice. These are awareness of the injustice, developing plans, and taking action. I've taken many of her words, ideas, and concepts to heart. As a culmination of this week, our capstone project fulfills her first advice, creating awareness. A specific social injustice I would like to bring awareness to is sex and human trafficking. I understand that this is an extremely sensitive subject, but it is very much a reality. This social injustice covers all race, age, and gender. Every day, women, men, and children are either forced into or choose to remain in sex trafficking. These people lack hope and love. Within human trafficking, there is also a great amount of gender inequality. Geneva made it very clear that gender inequality begins as children with gender stereotypes. I have had a lot of time to contemplate how best to address these social problems. My plan to bring social justice starts with how we treat others at a young age. To create an environment focused on equality, children need to have opportunities to make choices. Choices that allow them to play with whichever toys they choose and whomever they choose. Choices to wear pink or blue. Choices to become a dancer or football player. Choices to form identities regardless of a label based on genetics. We also need to focus on loving ourselves. Frequently, children are taught from a young age to focus on being anything but themselves. In this age of creativity, we cannot afford to think inside the box anymore. Gender goes beyond male and female. Human rights goes beyond freedom of speech. As citizens of the U.S., we have a responsibility to strive for nothing but the best life for every individual. Saying that, I encourage you to take action in your communities. You can begin by spreading awareness. Knowledge is power and is the precedent to change. If you are looking to support global gender equality, there are some wonderful organizations that you can get involved in, such as the Girl Effect and the End It movement. For those with limited resources, you don't have to look far. You can begin in your families by allowing everyone to make choices. Choices lead to change. You just have to decide what kind of change you want to make.
Hi there, my name is Mariah Larwood and I'm a high schooler from Ukiah, California. I came to World Affairs seminar expecting to hear some interesting stories, gain new perspectives, understand other cultures, and learn more about the people I share this world with. From the very first speaker at the seminar, I could tell I was in the right place to experience all these things. Ms. Wendy Bowen taught us about microlending nationally and internationally and how it affects people. I had no idea such a system existed that gave so much hope to people who pretty much had nothing in their lives. A girl during the seminar introduced us all to an organization called Kiva.org, in which I can lend my own money to people in need, and I'm really excited to go back home and do that. Another woman who spoke was Geneva Bolton Johnson. She was so incredibly inspirational. She had a few words of wisdom, and of them all, I think the ones that struck me most were, "It does not yet appear what we shall be." She really believed in progression and forward positive change and the ability to choose what your life is. And I think that stands not only for the topic of laws, which is social equality and gender equality, but I think it also speaks to me as a person and helps me become passionate about what we were doing here at WADS. Sahar, an Egyptian woman who was granted asylum in the U.S., talked about her experiences as growing up as a woman in Egypt. She also explained the atrocities towards women that happened in the Middle East. I really find her to be an inspiration to not only women of the Middle East, but women all over the world. And the fact that we have a voice and we have the power to change what we believe is wrong in this world. Not only women, but all of us as humans. The last one that really touched me was Admiral Anne Rondeau. She was in the military for 38 years and really stressed, no matter whether you were a male or female, that leadership is incredibly important in achieving your goals, and with that leadership comes respect and hard work and determination and passion, and through all those things, it doesn't matter what your sex is, it matters the merit, what matters is the merit